everyone, Miss GoElectric here, and I'm at the 2025 EV Charging Summit and Expo. I'm actually in the BTC Power booth because we're going to learn a lot more today about this company, and luckily they have a whole team of people to educate us about what they have going on here. But first I'm going to sit down with Caitlin Romano, who is actually in charge of marketing here, and she's going to give us a little bit more information of generally what is BTC Power and what do they do. So let's get into it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today, Caitlin. I'm excited to learn more about what you have going on here because it's kind of overwhelming coming to a show like this and seeing so much available in the marketplace. But can you explain what BTC Power is? Because I think you guys have been around for quite some time.
We have. Thank you so much. BTC Power is actually one of the oldest charging manufacturers in the country. People don't always realize who we are because we're behind the scenes. We don't typically put our brand and our logo on our chargers, but we're responsible for thousands of chargers in the field today, some of the largest CPOs in the country. So we manufacture AC and DC charging systems, all the way down to, your level 2s that will charge a car in 8 hours overnight for your fleets, all the way up to 360 kilowatt split systems for that fast charging at maybe a convenience store or retail location.
Okay, so you have some of your charging equipment on display here. So how does it work as far as the software goes? Because I know nowadays a lot of EV charging equipment, you kind of have one and the other that have to go together.
Yes, so there's a lot of different pieces involved when you're choosing your charging solution. And one of the beauties of BTC Power is we're software agnostic, right? We can actually integrate whatever software the customer needs to have that best experience for them. We have a few favorites that we'll recommend, and we can help guide you through that process to make sure you're getting a tailored solution for your needs. But because we're interop tested with just about everybody, we can make the perfect solution for you.
Now, where are you guys based? Because we see charging companies now popping up all over the place, but where is your headquarters?
So we're headquartered in Irvine, California. We've been there the entire time. We were around the corner in Santa Ana for years, and we recently located to our new Buy America facility right there in Southern California.
And so is that a facility where you guys build the equipment as well?
We do. So we have facilities overseas as well, but in order to comply with these new Buy America rules, regulations, and the different funding that our wonderful Patty will talk to you more about, we've created our Irvine headquarters. And so we can show you a sneak peek of that and where we're actually putting the chargers together.
Interesting. So it sounds like from Patty's perspective, she's going to be able to kind of dive into a little bit more of what kind of makes this all come together and also becomes a little bit more affordable for your customers too, right?
Yes.
Very cool. Now, you do have these two on display here, but you have other products in your lineup, correct?
Yes, we do.
So the two that we have here, why are these two specifically on display?
So I brought today our public charger and our overnight level 2 charger, and our field applications engineer Yazin is going to be more than happy to walk you guys through all the ins and outs and the specs of why we chose these today.
All right, Yaz, I'm excited to talk to you. You're the field application engineer, so you know a lot of the technical specifications of the product that you have here in your booth, which is the newest product in your lineup. So I want to kind of pick your brain about what you have going on here. So can we start at this DC fast charger?
So right here we have our Gen 4 public dispenser. This can go charge up to 360 kilowatts. It does do dynamic charging. It does it in blocks of 90 kilowatt increments. So you can go from 360 to 270, meet in the middle between both ports at 180, 180, down to 90 and 0. It does communicate with the vehicles to allocate if the charge needs to go from, say the first vehicle arrives, it'll get 360 for the first port. The second vehicle arrives, it'll then adjust based off the demand of the two vehicles to then allocate if it needs to get the full 180, 180 between the two, or if it really just needs to be 270 and 90 in the other port.
Which is great because a lot of people get concerned that maybe then it pulls a little too much from them or it splits it evenly, so then they're not optimizing their charging.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that I am noticing off the bat is that you have two different types of connectors on here.
Yes,
so explain what's going on.
So we do have the option of a CCS cable and a NACS cable as well. With the market shift right now, with NACS becoming the standard for everyone else, and Tesla's leading that standard, we decided to also shift and also allow that option for our customers as well. We have the option of doing dual CCS, dual NACS, or any combination of CCS and NACS as well.
Now, one popular thing is that people want to just be able to come up to the charger, plug in, and be done with it. So does this have technology in order to make that happen? Plug and charge, or is there any?
Yes. So our chargers, they are ISO 15118 certified. ISO 15118 was one of the standards that require that as well to be able to do plug and charge. So we are hardware ready. It's all dependent on the backend and software as well. With that said, we are software agnostic. So because of that, we are capable of integrating with any software provider that is OCPP 1.6 or 2.0. 2.0 preferred, as that is now becoming the standard as the future, right? All of our products from our public dispenser and our 180 kilowatt all-in one, they are certified OCPP 2.0. We got that certification just a few weeks ago, and we are proud to say we are OCPP 2.0
That's awesome.
certified.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Now, what's going on in this screen? What happens here?
So here is showcasing how the actual charge process goes. When you first connect the vehicle, it'll then communicate with the vehicle to then say accepting your payment. You'll either use RFID or credit card, depending on the payment system you have here. Here we showcase RFID and a credit card reader as well. Once you initiate that charge, it'll showcase here when the charge is initiated, what the current state is. You get a blue check mark saying the charge has been successful, and then it gives you the cycle of how much you're charging, what's the cost of the charge, and what is your total at the end.
This is a pretty big dispenser here.
Yeah.
And so I got to imagine there's a lot going on inside of it. If there are repairs that are needed, how is that done?
When we went to our Gen 4 line, the main focus was serviceability and easeability, right? Because one of the main focuses right now, even nationally, is uptime, right? The national standard is 97%. And to do that, we implemented our Gen 4 line to make that ease of use. Because yeah, charges may go down, but the whole point is how fast can you turn that charger back on? How fast can you reservice that unit? So when we went to our Gen 4 line, we have these power modules, 30 kilowatts, ease of access, 4 screws, loosen up, pull them out, swap it in, easy replacement. With everything else, all of our components inside, we made it easy access. We actually have a training course we do in our Irvine facility where we manufacture our products for Baba products as well. It is our ACE program. It's our Academy for Charging Excellence, where there we train technicians on our products as well. It's a 2-2 win for us as well, because when we train those technicians, they tell us how we can improve and make it more easily serviceable. So when we went from Gen 2 to Gen 4, we used all of their feedback to then come out with these products as well.
Well, that's good to hear, because I heard earlier from Caitlin that you guys have a whole engineering team in-house in Irvine, but then you also go to the next step and actually make sure that on the technician side, it's going to be easy for them.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting to hear, because we do know that in the EV charging space, that is like one of the most important things at this day and age. So very cool. I want to learn a little bit more about the lower power charging though. So let's head on over to this. I saw that this is new for you as well, right?
Sure. What's this one?
So here is our level 2 max solution. It's our newest level 2 solution. It goes up to 32, 48, and 80 amps. Things I like to designate that it differentiates us from our competitors is when we say an 80 amp charger, it's 80 amps per port. It doesn't split between the center. It doesn't do 40 amps, 40 amps. So if you get an 80 amp, it's true 80 per port, or 48 or 32 amps as well. Another differentiator for us that we like to say is it's our enclosure, right? You can go to a competitor, they use plastic, we use steel as our enclosure. So it's more robust. It can handle the lifespan of the product. For most customers, you need this out there 5-10 years. You don't want to go in there and just swap out your unit after a year, right?
Exactly.
So we went with the harder, robust enclosure. Yes, it's steel, so the price makes it a little bit more pricey, but it's worth it in the long run because it's more durable and it withstands all weather conditions and the lifespan of most people want for the charger.
Oh, absolutely. So what would you say is the best application for something like this that you guys are finding?
This is good for parking garages, parking structures, people who need that longer dwell time, right? Because you don't need that 10, 30-minute charge. You need someone to be there around for 4 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes a mall is also an ideal solution as well, where you want the consumer to go in there, be there for like 2 hours, 3 hours, go eat at a restaurant. Right now, we're talking to some customers who work in like the entertainment industry. So like there's like concert venues where, they're not going to be there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. They're going to be there for a span of 3-4 hours. So this is a better ideal situation for that as well. This also works for like fleet use cases, for vehicles that need to charge overnight, that you need that 6 to 8 hours as well.
Well, and I think it's a good point that you bring up. You have these two connectors that are simultaneous, because a lot of times when people want to go to a shopping plaza or something like that and they want to have a longer period of time that they're charging in order to match the dwell time of the activity that they're doing, there's maybe even just one connector and they all get taken up really quickly. So this being like compact unit that allows you to charge 2 cars off of it at the same time, that's probably really great for the customers that are buying a device like this, right? So what is the feedback so far you're hearing from the actual customers of buying this and businesses putting it in?
Yeah, because like I said, with most customers, when they're looking for like an 80 amp charger, they're required to buy a full 80 amp charger with a single hose, where it either splits to 40/40, it doesn't work for them, so they need to buy a single hose. With us, you only need to buy one enclosure for every 2 ports, right? So it eliminates the need for multiple enclosures, multiple different routing sites for your charger as well.
It probably saves them quite a bit of money too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Yaz, for walking us through all the hardware. Everything looks really great and up to date. We're happy to see that. But I think the next kind of thing to talk about would have to be, if people want to buy this and then get through all that red tape in order to install it, who is the person that they would talk to for that?
That would be Patty Delano.
All right, so time to talk to Patty.
Yes.
Well, we just got a sneak peek of everything that you have on display here in a technical presentation, but as Caitlin kind of remarked, Patty, you're the one that's involved with dealing with the human-to-human connection and more on the funding side of things. So can you give a little bit more insight on what you do at BTC Power in your role?
Yeah, so I am business development manager focused on government and funding, which means I support our customers with funding opportunities, and there are a lot of those, and they're complicated. And so it's definitely challenging, and there's a lot of changes happening with that. So it definitely keeps me on my toes. There's so many different levels of funding. There's federal, state, local, municipality. There's also utility. And something that is unique about all those different types of funding is that you can stack them. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that if you get one grant, you're not limited to just using that one grant. You could also stack that with another grant. As long as it's not 2 federal grants or 2 state grants, as long as it's 2 different levels of grants, then you can go ahead and stack them. So you can really take advantage of that.
And customers really need kind of their hand held through this, because it's so specific to, say, even what location or what utility you're going with. So can you kind of dive into a little bit more of the specifics about how you're guiding these people into what direction?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, location definitely matters. Depending on what state they're in, states have different funding. Also utility, even if you're in one state, there's, one state can have multiple different utilities. Even a city, you can have a different utility.
Would you say that there's like a percentage that you can save on a general basis of installing infrastructure in the United States, like kind of across the board with the incentives that you find?
I mean, depending on where you're located and what funding is available, you could get your entire project covered if you're lucky.
That's impressive. Yeah. Can you kind of explain what's the level of incentives that are available out there? What topics do they cover?
Yeah, so some of them, for example, they'll just cover just the charger, just the equipment. Other ones will support installation. So some of them, they call them make ready, which means that essentially you are making ready your site, make ready for EV charging. And they do have requirements for power levels. So for level 2, for example, it has to be minimum 6 kilowatts. And for DC that, we're seeing for NEVI, it would be minimum 150 kilowatts. Most recently, I've been focused on NEVI because that's been probably the largest funding that we've seen for the EV industry in the most recent years.
And NEVI is a big program that has been going on for a long time now, but right now we're seeing that there is a pause. So can you kind of speak to what's the status of that right now, and how does that change your job right now?
Yeah, so that's probably been one of the biggest disruptors that we've seen lately. So in February of this year, the Trump administration paused the NEVI program. And so right now what's happening is the Federal Highway Administration is currently reviewing and they're going to be providing guidance. Most likely that's going to be released later on this year. So we don't really know what's going to happen with NEVI, but right now the states who are not under contracts, they can't move forward, which is unfortunate because a lot of people were depending on that money for building their EV infrastructure site.
And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about how the program was set up. A lot of people expected that infrastructure would be in the ground immediately.
Yes.
And I mean, that would be a dream come true, right?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of articles out there that were saying, oh, $5 billion and only 8 chargers have come out of this. But what people didn't understand is that the NEVI program, it takes time. There really wasn't a lot of guidance that was provided. So a lot of the states, they had to put together their own RFPs. There was guidance as far as these are the guidelines that everyone has to follow, but as far as the process, a lot of the states had to determine how to do that. And even still, there were probably around maybe 10 or so states that still hadn't released their first RFP. So, and we're looking at probably year 3 of NEVI. So that's kind of how slow it was going. But right now, I think it's probably 56 sites that have opened. So it was starting to ramp up, unfortunately, but right now we're paused. But we'll see what happens at the end of the year. And I mean, BTC, we're still ready to support with our Buy America compliant equipment. So as soon as things get started again, we're going to be here to support our customers with our equipment.
So with the NEVI program, there's obviously a lot of check boxes to go through and swipe. But from your side of things, when people are ready to go to install the equipment, what are some of the hurdles you're clearing for those customers in order to get to that point that they might not expect?
So we're the hardware manufacturer, but we work with so many different partners. We work with EPC partners, software partners, design partners, where we can help connect our customers who are experienced and have been doing this for so many years.
So as we have seen at a summit like this, there are a lot of people that provide EV charging equipment. So why should customers choose BTC? What is setting you guys apart?
Well, I think one of the most important things that sets us apart is we have been most recently seeing our uptime is above 98%, which is huge, and that's really impressive. We've been around longer than most charger companies. We're one of the very few US-based companies. A lot of these charger companies haven't been around that long, and they're also based overseas. We've been around for a long time. We're not planning on going anywhere. So definitely, I think that's important. We have a lot of charging ports in North America.
It is crazy to think of how long this business has been around and that you guys have been there from the beginning and seen it evolve, but then also having to evolve with all the funding coming along and everything. Now, how can people find out more if they want to learn more and get in touch with you guys and move forward?
I mean, the best way really is going to our website. And on there, if you're not able to stop by at our show, come visit us at our booth. We do have a virtual booth on our website.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this latest In Charge video. And if you want to learn more, I'll put some links down in the description below. But until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.